So the two main questions I get on this build are about the intake and the ignition. So I figured on this video, since the engine's already apart, we'll just go over the intake real quick, let you guys look at it. Just having a little fun there. Looney Tune fans will get the reference on this one. It is a Sullivan intake for a 5.4 Navigator motor. And then a lot of work's been done, obviously, to the rails, you can see. You're going to see some machining marks, and it's a little crude looking. That was done solely because we didn't think it was actually going to work. So I didn't put a whole lot of time into making it look neat at first, because obviously trying to put a carburetor and different ignition and all the crazy stuff we did on this, weren't sure if it was going to work. So it actually worked really good. So I'll flip it over, let you guys look at the, again, crude port work and stuff, but we'll clean all that up while we got it apart this time. A lot of welding to get these ports reshaped. These ports were quite a bit larger. We're talking about 30% larger on the ports. And then of course I have to make custom intake gaskets to fit on these, because normally it has an O-ring on there. You cannot machine these intakes to put the O-ring. We tried that. It got really thin, and there's a reason why there's a lot of distortion on my port work and stuff, because we originally tried to make it to where the O-rings would fit. However, this cast aluminum is pretty soft stuff, and so it doesn't like to be machined very thin. And with the design of the heads, you just don't have a lot of room to put things in there. It works great with the plastic, the ABS plastic, because it's really stiff on the factory one, but on these it doesn't work too well on a cast aluminum. And that's about it. I mean, you know, a lot of welding, a lot of port work here. It's nothing that you can't do yourself, as long as you got somebody that can TIG weld and you're patient with a grinding wheel, you know, a little die grinder. You can do this stuff yourself. I did it, you know, in my own garage. I had a friend that's a TIG welder. You know, he's a welder, so he TIGged it all up for me. One thing I would suggest that you do, Scott, if you're watching this, Sullivan, there are no reference ports for vacuum up by the plenum anywhere on this intake. Either on the back, anywhere. He puts them in the bottom of the plenum, because in an EFI situation on this intake, you run an IAC motor, and he runs that off the bottom, and the intake is dry at that point. However, if you're running a carburetor, it's a wet flow intake, so you're going to pick up raw fuel if you reference any kind of vacuum off of these bottom ports here. So I actually modified a nitrous plate just to be able to have ports, but now that we've got everything back apart, I'm going to go ahead and drill some references and tap some 1/4 inch, probably maybe 1/8 inch pipe in here, so I can run all my boost lines and stuff off of there. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You know, there's a lot of work in there. You can still do it. Make a good template. Take your time, and try not to mess up a $900 intake manifold in the process. That was the scary part, was cutting into it the first time. So if you guys attempt to do it, good luck.